Okay, hello everyone. My topic is write a brief account of the Buddhist law of karma. So, my introduction. What is karma? The Buddha said, "O monks, it is volition that I call karma. Karma means work or action. In the context of Dhamma, we mean an action based on intention, cetana, or deeds willfully done. Actions that are free of intention are not considered karma in the Buddha's teaching. Karma is intention, which includes volition, will, choice, decision, or energy that leads to action. Intention is that which instigates or directs the human actions. Just like the Dhammapada once says, all mental natures are mind martial. Mind is their chief and they are mind made. By having intention that is mind made, we create karma, whether wholesome or unwholesome, through body, speech, and mind. Next slide. So next I come to the next section, karma and vipaka. An act of karma has its consequence, the fruit, the maturing of the action of the effect, that is vipaka. Just as an object is followed by its shadow, every volitional activity is followed by its effect. According to the law of karma, if you do wholesome kusala deeds, you will get wholesome results. And if you do unwholesome akusala deeds, you will get unwholesome results. Wholesome deeds are done with three wholesome roots of non-greed, alobha, non-hatred, dosa, and wisdom, moha. Unwholesome deeds are done with three evil roots of greed, lobha, hatred, dosa, and delusion, moha. Next. Okay, so there are 10 wholesome deeds and 10 unwholesome deeds that will generate results. The 10 wholesome deeds are non-killing, non-stealing, non-sexual misconduct, non-telling lies, non-slandering, no hard speech, no ideal talk, non-greed, no hatred, and no wrong views. The unwholesome deeds are killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, telling lies, slandering, hard speech, idle talk, greed, hatred, and delusion, erroneous views. So the first three are done through body. The four the following four actions are done by speech, and the last three are done by mind. Next slide. Okay, sorry. So besides the 10 wholesome deeds, one should do the 10 meritorious deeds that will generate wholesome results. The 10 meritorious deeds are dana, sila, bhavana, apachayana, vivyavacha, patidana, patadumodana, dhamma savana, dhamma desana, and titiju karma. Next. So karma and rebirth. The effect of wholesome karma is birth in the celestial abodes, and when birth occurs in the human sphere, birth is in happy circumstances, being blessed by prosperity, health, and long life. The effects of bad karma are birth in the woeful sphere, i.e., hell, ghosts, and animal planes. If born in the human world, one would be born in poverty, subject to disease and disability, short life, and in other states of misery. So not everything is due to karma. Cūḻa-kammavibhaṅga sutta states that beings are owners of karma, heirs to karma, born in karma, bound by karma, have karma as their refuge. However, it should not be construed that everything is due to karma. The Sivaka Sutta, for example, teaches that not everything we feel or experience are due to past karma alone, but could be due to other conditions. The Dhinana Sutta compares one's karma to seeds that depend on favorable conditions to germinate or could be destroyed by burning, i.e., through spiritual development. So, besides karma, there are also other laws that govern the universe. There's Pancha Niyama Dhammas, which are Utu Niyama that relates to the physical inorganic order, Vidya Niyama that relates to the order of germs and seeds, Karma Niyama relates to the moral causation or law at and result, Dhamma Niyama relates to the electrical forces movement of tides, and Chitta Niyama relates to what that govern the processes of consciousness. So, lastly, karma is not fatalistic or deterministic. It is not to say that everything that we suffer or enjoy today is completely controlled by our past actions, which we call karma. If this is so, then there will be no purpose in life. So there's no purpose in living a moral life, as we would then be simply be the victims of the past. While our past is being conditioned, it is entirely within ourselves to change that condition and to create our future and present and the present well-being. The effect of the travel back karma can be submerged in an abundance of good karma, like a crystal of salt dissolving in a reservoir without adding the taste of salt to the water. Strong good karma can lead one to emancipation before some bad karma taking effect. That's all.
Okay, good try. Any comment from the rest of you to add on or
I
whatever?
was thinking maybe I should put in the 6 conditions of the Cūļa-kammavibhaṅga. That means if you do killing, then you'll be ending with a short life. But that's this morning only I thought of that lah, but I don't know.
Sufficient. This one will carry you sufficient mark.
uh, because the topic is quite wide. Actually, I don't know what to be written inside there. The topic is quite wide actually.
Never mind. When we come to the real exam question, it's around this one. You can't escape one. It's around this. You do
So,
this, the
Brother Lau,
exam
you
question.
think the content is enough or should add something else?
So sufficient to me. I don't know the rest.
Okay.
Anybody want to add in more?
No, personally, I think it's too long for exam question.
Yeah.
So I think your example of short life should be one good example already to cover, because you can't write so many. Because
Yeah, last time I want to write the assignment like an answer question. Then I thought last time you say this is like a assignment must do some paper research or I mean some readings. So this round I write like quite long like that. I
no, it depends on your time lah. If you have the time, then you write more lor. Then if you don't have time, then just write as if you are in the exam lor. That's the way I do lah.
okay.
Anybody disagree or want to add more?
Oh, the other one is I think your DT Uju DT Uju I think is DT plus Uju, so it should be DITT HUJU, not IJU, UJU.
Okay. DT
Because the
Cūļa-kammavibhaṅga. Okay.
DT I will be omitted and then the Uju U will be inserted into DT Uju.
Okay. Let me check.
This one. DITTHUJU. That is the Pali way of combining two words. The last I of
Okay.
DT should be
DT
omitted.
Cūļa-kammavibhaṅga.
It
Should be
to
DTHIJJU then.
TTHUJU.
DTHUJU. Oh,
Ah.
okay. But our textbook is DITTHIJJU. But I short one J lah. Wait I check dictionary.
I think Sri Lanka one seems to sometimes I think they use their own pronunciation because we follow I think that we call it what the English pronunciation, I think.
Okay. If dictionary is DITTHUJU. Thank you.
Standard Pali, I think, for English speaker. So if there's no other comment, then I present my one. No?
Okay.
So good afternoon, brothers and sisters and Brother Lau. So this is my presentation for question number 2. What was the Buddha's explanation of the diversity of inborn characteristics of individuals. So, introduction. In ancient India during the Buddha's time, there were already certain beliefs and understanding of karma, especially among the various ascetic teachers. However, after his enlightenment, that is the Buddha's enlightenment, and during his 45 years of dispensation, Buddha redefined and explained the term as karma vipaka, cause and effect, and as part of his causality teaching, to explain the diversity and conditions of the many human beings and their problems. So now we go into the diversity of beings and characteristics. So in Majjhima Nikaya 135, Cūḻa-kammavibhaṅga sutta, is in response to a series of questions raised by Subha. Is a wanderer, I think it's a layperson, Subha, on the differences among the people. So the Buddha described the types of, in summary, the Buddha described the types of unwholesome actions that could lead to unpleasant destinations and conditions, and the types of wholesome actions that could lead to happy destination and conditions. So you'll see the summary table on the Buddha's explanation on the karma and the rebirth destination and conditions. So this is the summary of the explanations by Buddha. Is when a person kills or kill living beings, then he will be reborn in unhappy destination or destitute. And if one is reborn as a human being, then it will be short life. Similarly, when a person abstains in killing, so will be reborn in happy destination with long life. So the second pair will be the injuring or harming other beings. So it also will lead to the reborn in unhappy destination, and if as a human, you'll be sickly. Similarly, it goes down to angry or resentment, envy, stingy, arrogance, and not inquisitive. Especially number 7, if one is not interested in acquiring knowledge, then when they will be born, they'll be into unhappy destination because of the fact that they are not interested in wisdom. So if he's born as a human, then will be not so smart. Whereas an inquisitive person will lead to better destinations, such as in the groups of intelligent people, and they are knowledgeable. So this is the summary of the Buddha's explanation. And in that sutta itself, the Buddha concluded with this statement: students, beings are owners of their actions, heirs of their actions. They originate from their actions and are bound to their actions, have their actions as their refuge. It is action that distinguishes beings as inferior and superior. Thus, here Buddha clearly and explicitly spell out that one is the owner of, he owns the karma, the heir of it, that means he inherit the karma, and they originate from, that means in the way they are born with, they'll be born with, or they'll have the what do you call, the genes of it, and they are bound to meaning to say that they will live with those karma, and that one has done in the past as well as in that very life. So one's actions determine one's birth, because it originates from there, and there is a genes which will determine the characteristics of that person, and as well as the strength and the weaknesses of that person. These are the inborn characteristics. And of course, there are many other that we can illustrate. So when one is bound to, so in a way, one is linked to one's actions as if it's a relative or your kids, Somehow they are interrelated. That means the life and the results of the lives are interrelated. Therefore, one's current conditions now are actually closely related to one's past karma or past actions. And that is because the condition is the reckoning of those past actions. One's past actions in this life and the uncountable past lives are numerous, uncountable, and diverse. And therefore, when they bear fruits, they are as diverse too. Then let's look at from the Abhidhamma perspective. In the Abhidhamma perspective, the last thought process, Marana Sanya Smriti, of the previous existence, that means the immediate past, just before death happened, it determines and explains how the next and the new being is conceived or born with, that is the patisandhi, the relinking. So this last thought process depends on the object that arises at that very dying moment. The object could be past action, the karma, a symbol or sign of action, that is the karma nimitta, or a sign of destination, the gati nimitta. So if there is a vedi deed or vedi karma, garuka karma, for example, like killing an arahat or parent, or having very strong wrong will, this karma will take precedence and bear fruits. That means this karma will bear fruits in the immediate next life. Otherwise, the next one will be the death proximate karma. That is the asanya karma or the habitual karma. The achinya karma could arise and bear fruit. And if these three, that is the garuka, asanya, and the achinya karma is absent, then one of the residual or incidental deeds that one has done in the distant past or in that very life might arise and bear fruit as the rebirth linking consciousness, the patisandhi vijnana. Thus, from here, we can see that there are very diverse possibilities of past karma that might arise in the dying moment, and that will lead to the next rebirth, or it will condition the next rebirth. So on top of this, if we were to combine another factors, that is the so-called, when one is doing the karma, what is the mental states of one before doing it, and during or while doing the karma, and after doing the karma, the mental states may change, and that combination leads to even more complexities of the karma and the greater combinations that can come out of it. And thus, this will determine the destination. For example, the RAM, what type of bhumis that one will be reborn, the type of beings, the community that one will be born with the parents, etc., as well as the individual quality, that is, for example, the mental quality, the physical qualities, as well as the inborn characters of the new being. So these inborn characteristics are the characteristics a being is born with. And that's why with such a diverse complexity of karma that one can create, so there will be a very diverse characteristic of people that is the result of those karma in this world. So each are uniquely different from one another in some ways. And it is also why in the sutta, the Buddha said that Kammavibhaṅga was a very complicated and complex subject due to its diverse matrices, such that it is not easily understood and analyzed. So a person might get mad trying to analyze and understand it. That is the warning that Buddha did highlight to us. For those who are seriously trying to understand karma and vipaka and the go into very detail. So there is a caveat here in the sense that besides the law of karma, that means the karma niyama in Samyutta Nikaya SN 3621, as well as later commentaries, it actually infers that there are also 4 other natural laws, namely the Uttu Niyama, Bija, or Bija Niyama, Chitta Niyama, and Dhamma Niyama, which actually controls or influence the happenings in the world. And these 5 orders will actually shape our current condition. That means as a being, besides the world, these 5 conditions also shape our current conditions. And no single factor actually determines everything. For example, for beings, karma plays a very significant role, but it operates within the framework together with the other 4 natural laws. So meaning to say is that karma influences especially the starting conditions, that means the patisandhi, but it does not completely determine one's present state and condition. That means in our life, much of our conditions is also influenced by the 4 conditions, 4 laws, and it also changes with the changes that is happening in the world. So in conclusion, karma is an indispensable ingredient during the relinking process of a being in the samsara. The quality of this relinking depends on the mental states of one's actions, especially those done frequently, and the level of wisdom at that point of doing the karma. Thus, the quality and conditions of one's life, whether good or bad. In the sutta, the Buddha frequently reminded us not to take lightly and be mindful of our actions. For example, the Rahula Sutta. One's present action could shape the current experiences and the future outcomes. So the choices and actions taken matter significantly, especially for one who wishes to improve or change for the better, both mundane and supramundane. For example, to attain ariyaship or nobility, one needs the prerequisite to be born with 3-rooted rebirth linking, that is the Tihetuka Patisandhi consciousness. And in this life, that means the life, in that very life, you have to learn the right knowledge from the wise people. That means you have to have have wise teacher who knows the right knowledge. And with that knowledge, one has to diligently practice and properly cultivate it. And on top of that, it has to be accompanied by right mindfulness and to put in the right effort. And of course, has to be grounded on good morality and supported by proper composure, the proper samadhi, so that they can actually bear fruits. Then only it's possible that one person has the potential, has a great potential to attain at least a sotapanna. So with that, I thank you.
Very good try.
Presentation.
Anybody want to add on? Or got new suggestion?
Yeah, I find that this assignment I'm a bit blur, not too sure whether I get the message.
You're just asking what is that, then you answer give what is that. Because it's when you look at paper, there are so many variations.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure whether I managed to present or get my answer through or not from the.
Sufficient to me, I say sufficient.
Actually,
Anybody
I
comment or?
thought just talk about the long life, the whatever enough already.
But because the question is about the what you call
Characteristic.
the characteristics so I was looking at it more from the what the inborn characteristics, but I
Yeah,
was
I
having
thought that
difficulty.
was referring to short life, not beauty or whatever. No, it's an inborn characteristic, right? No,
But inborn can also, I mean, beauty and whatnot, not necessarily, I mean, inborn in a way, but along the way also it can be changed, ma. So that's why I was wondering, how do I put it? Is it, for example, like rich and poor. I mean, when a person can be born poor, but then through effort, it can be rich, you see. So it's not so much of inborn in that sense, you see. But inborn more of the family. For example, a person is born into a poor family, so that in a way is inborn, but through their life effort, then they can become a rich, or they can study harder, then they can be more intelligent.
Yeah, because the question say what is the Buddha's explanation of the diversity of the inborn characteristic, ma? He didn't say what is the Buddha explanation on the after born already, then the person make effort, whatever, ma, right?
Yeah.
So you are actually doing more than what is required, lah.
I'm just trying to elaborate for the conclusion part only lah. But the front part, I'm not too sure whether I managed to carry or carry write the message clearly.
Initially, I thought you didn't answer to the question.
Well,
Then
I
only
say question,
I read again, only I understood.
For I say question, there's no 100% guarantee must be that way, okay? So as long as you write the right stuff down there, examiner will give you one. Don't worry so much. Okay, next one. Who want to continue?
Number three. Okay, thank you. Okay, question number 3, volition, I say, is the karma. Cittanaham Vinkavi Kamang Vadami. Explain this statement of the Buddha. Okay, this is what I got. This is one of the most important teaching of the Buddha regarding karma, and it appears in the Anguttara Nikaya AN 6.63. Now, karma here means action, but specifically intentional, volitional action. It is the law of moral cause and effect. Skillful, wholesome action lead to pleasant result, and unskillful, that is unwholesome action, lead to unpleasant result. Cetana, volition, intention. This is the central mental factor that directs the mind towards an object and motivates an action. It is the will, the purpose, the motive, the impulse behind any act. It is the active mental energy that precede and shape our deeds, words, and thoughts. Okay, the meaning of the statement volition is karma. Here, the Buddha is saying it is not a mere physical or vocal motion that constitute a morally significant action, that is karma. It is the intention behind it. Before a body moves or a word is spoken, an intention formed in the mind. That mental genesis is where the karma is created. By defining karma as volition, the Buddha places the power and responsibility in the hands of the individual. Our future is not predetermined by past action alone. It is actively shaped by our present choices and intention. Every moment of volition is a moment of creating karma for better or worse. The 3 doors of action karma, the Buddha taught that action proceed through three doors. That is the body, physical act, speech, verbal act, mind, mental act. That is the thought, wishes, or judgment. Okay, in summary, moral responsibility lies in intention. The ethical quality of an action is determined by the will behind it, not just the external motion. The mind is the forerunner of all states. All conditions we experience originate from the quality of our intention. We are the owners of our karma. Our future is shaped by the choices we make in the present moment through the volition we cultivate and act upon. The path to freedom, by mastering our intention, we purify our action and ultimately lead to liberation. Okay, that's my presentation.
Okay, good try. Anyone to add anything on the add-on? Anybody?
The word by mastering our intention, like a bit I don't know. Is it okay to say by mastering our intention?
We have to always remember our intention, so we have to make sure we master it correctly. Cannot.
Do we say master the intention?
Then want to.
I'm not saying grammatically not correct lah. I'm just saying, is it the way correctly put? I don't know. Do we say master the intention? We what? We be aware.
How about, yeah, correct. Be aware and constantly check on our intention to see if it is wholesome or unwholesome.
By being aware of our intention. Is that what you mean?
Something to that effect lah. Mastering like a bit don't know whether we can say that or not, mastering our intention.
But
not up to the standard of mastering it lah. By being aware lah.
By being aware and purifying our intention. Not purifying.
If you look at it,
by being aware.
Subtitle, the path to freedom, because her subtitle is the path to freedom. So he has to master the intention. So if he's under this subtitle, I think it's quite, personally, I feel it's okay. But if it's a general statement, then by being mindful of our intention is the starting point, you see. But since you are on the path to freedom now, that means you are on the advanced stage already.
Okay.
I mean, this is the way I interpret that, because the context is the path to freedom. So that particular person has to really master the intention. Not so much about karma now. I think it's towards the liberation already. So the intentions towards liberation is not for karma, because karma can be wholesome and unwholesome. So if karma is still in samsara, but if you are going for freedom already, you really have to master such that the intention will lead one towards the liberation. Because the subtitle, the path to freedom, that's a subtitle there. That's why I feel Sister Specklin's way of presenting is very systematic, concise, but I'm not too sure whether the examiner will accept it that way, too short or not.
No time to write, Brother Ko.
You seems to have very good at presenting a topic in a very sequential way, and what you call the other way is you run it down, quite easy to understand, to follow, which is something which I find for me is not so easy. I may have the idea, but how to present it, that way such that it's easy to understand for a reader. But you have that skill.
Noble AI can use mastering the intention.
What is it, Sharon?
Noble AI says yes, mastering intention is correct.
Oh.
Any more comment?
It's a bit too short, I think, for an essay questions. And you are too concise. You may need to elaborate on
Longer.
yeah. So for example, in your this is summary. Let's go up to another slide. Maybe like volition is karma. You say, okay, physical act, but what sort of physical act? Maybe you can give some examples.
Elaborate lah.
Elaborate from there. Because the first one, okay, that one not merely physical or vocal. Okay, that is what you elaborated. And okay, you explain because the intentions formed in the mind. Okay, the genesis is where the karma is created. Okay. The other one is actively shaped by present choices and intentions. I think if you put it the other way, actively shaped by our present intention and choices. You reverse it, may be more appropriate in terms of flow. Because you have intention, then after that which intention you choose. So intention and choices, rather than choices first, then you have intention now.
Okay.
Because now you are talking about a very clear-cut flow, so then here you may have to have also a proper sequence also.
Okay. Can.
So if you have the 10 physical the 3 bodily actions, you can elaborate, and then the speech also, all this might help you to lengthen your essay.
Essay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm very scared of you,
Oh, you see, yeah, we're just sharing.
You write so many pages.
No, I write because it's an assignment, but if it's come to exam, I can't write so much also.
Enough already though.
Yeah. But because this is assignment, so assignment has to be also sufficiently enough, so that later when you write during exam, you might not be able to reproduce everything, but at least most of the key points you are able to present it.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So, okay,
So, all right, go to the next one.
Okay, I shall do number 4. Okay, so number 4, the question is, specify the 6 aspects of karma mentioned in Cūḻa-kammavibhaṅga sutta. As introduction, karma is the central and fundamental aspect of the Buddhist doctrine. It is the law of cause and effect. The Buddhist concept of karma is a natural process that operates with all our volitional acts and does not need an external agency or power that sits in judgment. In Cūḻa-kammavibhaṅga sutta, the Buddha responded to Subba's inquiry on the different fate or fortunate experience by each individual being, varied and different. And the Buddha stated that whenever one committed a skillful or an unskillful volitional deed or karma, one became the owner of that deed and had to bear the eventual consequences. Skillful deeds will result in a happy consequence, while an unskillful deed will result in an unhappy consequence. So the Buddha identified 6 aspects of karma to be pondered upon. The 6 aspects of karma mentioned in the Cūḻa-kammavibhaṅga sutta are as the following. Firstly, karma sakasata, the sentient beings are the owner of their deeds. Second, karma dayada, they are the heirs of the karma. The third one, karma yoni, which means deeds are their womb born of karma, and they springs from their deeds. The fourth one, karma bandhu, related through karma, where karmas as their kin, bound by karma, or karma as relative. The fifth one will be karma patisarana, their refuge, have their actions as their arbitrator. The sixth will be karma sate vipajati hina papanitataya. It is karma that differentiates beings by way of inferiority and superiority. It is karma that differentiates beings, that is to say, by way of inferiority and excellence. It is karma that differentiates beings into low and high stages. So we'll go by one. The first one, karma ka sata. Sentient beings are the owner of their deeds or action. Experiential is the author of the karma. Since the human person is only a grouping of aggregates, their ownership is established by relating karma to one of the aggregates, namely disposition sankhara. Mental formation sankhara includes volition or cetana that generates karma. This is the driving force for action at the vocal or physical level. If this driving force is unwholesome, the vocal and physical action will be unwholesome. On the other hand, adequate volition, which is wholesome, will drive wholesome verbal and bodily action. Hence, one shall receive wholesome result. It emphasizes that individuals are responsible for their own actions and the consequences. The second one, karma dayada, heir of karma, karma as inheritance. One inherits one's own karma, the results, the fruit of one's karma. Whatever action I do, good or bad, of this I shall become the heir. This concept is central to the Buddhist understanding of karma and rebirth, one's accumulated past karma, highlighting the idea that one's present circumstances are a result of past action. That is, the experience of the present moment is the sum total of all that is acquired, inherited. Similarly, one's present actions set forth the result of the future. Means karma vests the beings with the congenital characteristic. The Buddha taught that one should strive to perform good deeds, kusala karma, to ensure a favorable inheritance in future existence. Example, encourage mindful living, being aware of one's action and their consequences. Suggests that instead of blaming fate or others, one should take responsibility for their lives' circumstances. The third one, karma yoni. Karma as the source or origin. Deeds are their womb born of karma, their karmas as their progenitor and ancestor or parent. Karmas as their homing place. Karma is their determining factor of rebirth. They originate from the action, they spring from their deeds. Actually, our birth is because of our own past karma. We come from the womb of our own karma, that very moment that produce the fruit of the accumulated karma, and which start understand the Dhamma at a deeper level, realize this. It means that karma is one of the factors that determines the nature of the personality, the source for which the nature of personality springs. Karma yoni emphasizes that karma is the primary cause of rebirth, not a creator god, fate, or random chance. It reinforces the idea that we are the creator of our own destiny through our intentional action. Example, encourages self-reflection. What kind of womb of future am I creating with my action? Motivates ethical living. as every thought, word, and deed shapes our destiny. The fourth one, Kamma Bandhu, related to karma. Karma is the kin, bound by karma, or karma as relative. Actions are my relation. None other is your relative, not your father, mother, your brother, nor your sister. In the worldly way, we say, this is my brother, my relative, or my near or dear one. They are so close to me. Actually, no one is close to us. No one can accompany us or help us when times comes. When we die, nothing accompanies us but our karma. Whomever we call, our relatives remain here, but our karma continues to follow us from one life to another. We are not in possession of anything but our own karma, so it is our own companion. So it means that the wholesome karma can establish a beneficial relationship, bring about welfare of the individual. This teaching emphasizes that a person's karma is their closest welfare companion more than the family, wealth, or social status, because it determines their future happiness or suffering. That is, encouraging mindfulness in action, knowing that karma is ever-present, relative. Motivates ethical living, as wholesome deeds leads to happiness, while unwholesome one brings suffering. So reinforce self-responsibility. Instead of blaming others, one reflects on one's own action. Fifth one, Kamma Patisarana. Karma as their refuge, have their action as their arbitrator. So it also means it is our protection. Refuge is only in one's karma. Wholesome karma provides refuge, unwholesome karma produces more suffering. No other beings can give you refuge, not even the Buddha. It means that karma protects those who perform good acts and would lead them to enlightenment and liberation. This principle teaches that a being's true safety and future well-being depends entirely on their own ethical conduct, not on external savior, luck, or divine intervention. It is a call to self-responsibility and mindful living. Then we'll become inspired to take responsibility of our own karma. Remain alert and on guard each moment so that every action, physical or mental, is wholesome. One may not be perfect, but keep trying. With all the determination, with all the inspiration, with all the encouragement, get up and try again persistently, give rise to wholesome volition, and then perform wholesome deeds. Finally, the last one, Kamma Sate Vipajati Hina Panitataya. It is deed that divides beings into inferior and superior states. It is karma that differentiates beings by way of inferiority and superiority. It is karma that differentiates beings, that is to say, by way of inferiority and excellence. It is karma that differentiates beings into low and high states, as stated in Majjhima Nikaya, in the version translated by Bhikkhu Bodhis, that if some man or woman is obstinate and arrogant and they behave in a rude way without any so-called courtesy and homage and reverence others, in the end, the result that he reaps will be he will appear in the state of deprivation. But instead, he comes back to the human state. Then wherever he's reborn, he is in a low born. On the other hand, if he acts opposite, that is, it is not obstinate nor arrogant, then he may reappear in a happy destination. But if instead he comes back to human state, then wherever he born, he'll be reborn. He is high born, with his honor and reverence venerated by others. So, as summary, everyone is responsible for one's action. Wholesome karma reaps wholesome result in return. Hence, it is wise that one needs to follow ethical living by observing the 5 precepts to avoid harmful karma. Instead, one should cultivate generosity, compassion, and wisdom. One ought to be mindful be aware of one's intention as they shape karma. By avoiding unwholesome karma and shun away from negative habits and done through repentance, restraint, and meditation. The good news is we are not fated to accept happening in a helpless manner. Instead, past karma influences but does not enslave us. Present effort can change trajectories. That's all.
Well, sister, you do a lot of research.
Uh,
So this is a kind examiner look for. So these 6 category you all need to know. Okay, any question? She did her homework, very good. Everything down there. So you read the 6 category, you know what type of category fall to. Any comment?
Please, can I ask something? Sister Sumitra, your conclusion looks like you write one, but your points on the 6 points the English doesn't seem to be consistent. Is that you get somewhere or you write yourself?
Excuse me. I'd like to answer to Brother Loss. I'm sorry, Brother Call. Actually, I have to apologize. The assignment that I did is actually copied and pasted from many different sources. That's why the form of English is a bit awkward. I will write it later because this is I still need to digest what I have read. Sometimes I'm still not sure how to rephrase them. So I will do it again later on. Sorry for the awkwardness of the assignment. Sorry.
It's okay. It's just that I thought that is not your usual English. That's why
Yeah.
I know you have a lot of resources where you share. So those resources are actually very helpful. So, for example, these six factors if your topic does not break it out, I also miss these 6 points or so. I didn't look at it as a potential questions that it would be asked and how to actually answer it. Oh, it's okay. It's just that I wish to check out, that's all.
Okay, the final question for the day, question 5. Is karma the only factor that produces an effect? If not, what are the other factors? Niyama. In essence, while karma plays a crucial role in shaping our experiences and future, it is not the sole determinant. These 5 niyamas work together to create the diverse and complex reality we experience. Why is this important? It helps avoid karmic determinism, the mistaken belief that everything that happens is due to past karma. Instead, these 5 laws show that not all experiences are caused by moral action. Many are due to physical, biological, or mental causes. They are 1. Karma niyama, moral causation. This law explains how actions, both physical and mental, lead to corresponding results. Wholesome actions lead to positive outcomes, and unwholesome action leads to negative outcomes. Example, a kind action leads to happiness. A harmful action leads to suffering. Utu niyama, physical inorganic order. This law governs the physical world, including seasonal changes, weather patterns, and natural phenomena like wind and rain. Example, why plants grow, why fire burns, water freezes below 0 degrees C, or flowers bloom in spring. It explains events not caused by moral actions, but by physical causality. Bija niyama, organic or biological order. This law explains the processes of growth and development in living beings, such as the growth of plants from seeds. Example, a mango tree produces a mango tree, not an apple tree. Also includes genetics, reproduction, and species traits. Chitta niyama, order of the mind. This law governs the workings of the mind, including consciousness, perception, and mental processes. Example, how thoughts arise and cease. One moment of anger may lead to another, or a trained mind moves toward concentration. Dhamma niyama, natural phenomena. This law describes the fundamental laws of nature, such as gravity, magnetism, and the behavior of light. This refers to the inherent orders of things, especially in relation to Dhamma or spiritual truth. Example, why are all conditioned things must decay? The rising of the sun, the gravitational pull, or the inevitability of impermanence. Conclusion. The Buddha taught that understanding this prevents the wrong view that everything is due to karma, purbe katahe tu vada. Just as a river is formed by many tributaries, our experiences are shaped by these 5 natural orders working in harmony. Understanding these niyamas help us to 1. Avoid fatalistic view, understanding that not all suffering is due to past karma, recognize multiple causality in events, respond appropriately to different situations, develop wisdom about natural laws. Note. No need the note, never mind. The note is just the note. That is my
Okay.
questions.
Very good, sister. Good understanding. So the question is asking whether the moral karma is the only cause. Because during the Indian period, Indian philosophy period, there are many samana teachers. Example, one is due to fatalism. Everything is 注定 or fate. Everything is based on fate. So you have to just live with it and follow it. Then another one is the what? Karma particles. So karma particles, Jains, they believe that whatever action you do, good or bad, you accumulate karma particles onto the soul. So the soul is full of karma. So they believe that this karma, by purging by extreme means, they're able to get rid of karma particles. And then they use the fourfold restraint to practice that. They very sure the karma particle will not stick to the soul anymore. So they can achieve to their mukti or the liberation. Then another wrong karma concept is belong to the Vedic God. Everything is God, created by God. Karma also by God. Everything is God. Okay, that's the early Vedic. Okay, early Vedic. Everything is due. Karma is due to God. So God given. So it is a test of God. So everything is a testing of God. So you have to live to it because God given to you. And it's only in the later Upanishad period this transformation from the old Vedic to come to Upanishad. They bring in, I think there should be a copy from the Buddhists or the Jains, that this karma is a cause and effect moral law that affect like what the Buddhist is a moral practice. Okay, so basically this question asking about, beside this law, causality karma, is there any other karma that affect, like season, all this, you go to the wrong place, like in the mountain, you go skiing, then suddenly there's because you are at the very moment, the snowfall is very bad, and then the circumstances, you lead to what you call that, the snow coming down the ski, then it causes death or that. You just cannot blame it because of karma, because this can be due to environmental problem. Okay, so sister have a good understanding. So this type of question, they may come out at this diploma level. So basically, if any of these things throw at you, you should able to answer it. All right. Any more question?
Right. And coming back to Sister Doris, I think maybe you have to explain. I mean, to me, like if I were to look at the title, is karma the only factor that produces an effect? I think I will explain a bit more on this rather than just to skim through, because what does this first statement ask, is karma the only factor? And what does it mean, the karma and effect? Maybe you have to if I were to write, I'll write a little bit more about what is karma and what is the karma and effect, And then
Okay.
after that, then only I'll explain the other niyamas, that influences the effects, and happenings to life, that are not necessarily the results of the karma. Then that would be clearer.
Okay, understood.
Okay, anybody want to add further? If no, then we close the session.